In an explosive turn of events, former President Donald Trump found himself at the center of a heated political storm. After George Conway, a prominent conservative attorney and outspoken critic of the former president, dropped a bombshell revelation about Trump's personal life on national television. The tense moment occurred during a live interview on one of the nation's leading news networks. Conway, who is well known for his critiques of Trump, was discussing the state of the Republican Party post-Trump when he shifted the conversation in an unexpected direction. As the conversation was about to wrap up, Conway made a pointed remark that left both the host and viewers stunned. "Let's be clear," Conway said, looking directly into the camera. "What we're witnessing right now is not just a political figure spiraling. This is the same man who, behind closed doors, is the subject of intense personal turmoil. And I'll just say it, his marriage is a farce. The entire world saw what happened after the storming of the Capitol and how Trump's own family turned on him. It's not just a political divorce, it's a personal one." The room fell into a stunned silence as Conway's words cut through the air like a dagger, cutting to the very core of Trump's personal life. The remarks were not only shocking due to their boldness, but also because of the source. Conway, married to Kellyanne Conway, a former senior advisor to Trump, had always been considered a fierce opponent of Trump's presidency, but he had never spoken so directly about the personal matters within Trump's marriage to Melania Trump. Conway's words about the state of Trump's marriage immediately set social media ablaze, as commentators and pundits began to weigh in. Many saw Conway's statement as a public acknowledgement of the obvious tension within the Trump family that had been bubbling for years, especially in the aftermath of Trump's chaotic presidency. However, Trump's reaction to the comment was nothing short of explosive. In a series of furious, off-the-cuff remarks, the former president went on a tirade against George Conway, accusing him of everything from dishonesty to political opportunism. On a phone call with his allies, Trump was reportedly livid and fuming over Conway's public statements. "This is what happens when you allow people to stab you in the back," Trump allegedly told his confidants. "George Conway is nothing but a bitter, jealous failure who couldn't handle the spotlight I gave him. Now he's going after me, my family, and everything I stand for. He's just mad because I succeeded where he failed." Trump, always a man of showmanship, quickly took to his own platform, Truth Social, to unleash a series of blistering posts attacking Conway. "George Conway is a total loser who is obsessed with me. It's pathetic," Trump wrote. "He's been trying to destroy my marriage for years, but everyone knows it's his own miserable life that he should focus on. Kellyanne left him for a reason. Nobody wants to be around a bitter, angry person like him." The back and forth escalated as Conway, unfazed by the attacks, responded in kind. "I'm just telling the truth. The emperor has no clothes and his marriage is the least of his problems," Conway tweeted, doubling down on his remarks. "If anyone knows about toxic relationships, it's me." The situation continued to escalate throughout the week as Trump's allies rushed to his defense. Fox News pundits slammed Conway as a disgruntled ex-husband who was using the spotlight to settle old scores. They accused Conway of having no credibility, given his own strained relationship with Kellyanne, who had once been one of Trump's most loyal allies. On the other hand, anti-Trump commentators hailed Conway's comments as a much-needed wake-up call to the public, one that exposed the deep fractures within the former president's inner circle. Conway's comments reveal what many have suspected for years. "Trump's entire life is built on a foundation of lies and self-delusion," said one critic. As the controversy unfolded, rumors about the Trump family's dynamics resurfaced. Sources close to Melania Trump have long speculated that she has grown increasingly disillusioned with her husband, particularly after the public scrutiny surrounding his actions before, during, and after the 2020 election. Despite the rumors, Melania has maintained a relatively low public profile, rarely engaging in the political battles surrounding her husband's legacy. One of the most poignant moments in the unfolding drama came when an insider close to the Trump family revealed that Melania had been privately miserable throughout much of Trump's presidency, especially after his divisive handling of the pandemic and his handling of personal scandals. "It's no secret that Melania stayed in the marriage for the sake of their son, Barron," the source claimed, In an attempt to regain control of the narrative, Trump's campaign surrogates began ramping up their media blitz, defending both his marriage and his political agenda. "This is just another desperate attempt to discredit the president," said one high-ranking Republican strategist. George Conway, who has no political relevance anymore, is lashing out because he feels left behind by the movement that Trump built. He's bitter and jealous. This isn't about truth, it's about revenge. Even conservative figures who had once been critical of Trump found themselves reluctantly coming to his defense. The issue of his marriage, they argued, was a personal matter that should not be fodder for public scrutiny. "We can debate Trump's policies, but this attack on his personal life is crossing a line," said another Republican figure. "It's clear that George Conway has no boundaries, and that's a dangerous precedent for any political discourse." Behind the scenes, rumors continued to swirl about Melania Trump's reaction to the explosive remarks. Sources close to her, speaking anonymously, suggested that she was disappointed by the attack on her marriage, though she remained largely silent in public. It was said that Melania had grown increasingly isolated during Trump's presidency, particularly as his behavior and controversies became more pronounced. She had rarely engaged in political battles or public feuds during her time in the White House, preferring to focus on her own initiatives, most notably her Be Best campaign, which aimed to address bullying and children's well-being. But those close to Melania now speculated that her silence might have been her way of distancing herself from Trump's chaotic public life. A family friend who had been close to both the Trump and Conway households hinted that Melania had often felt trapped by her husband's relentless ambition and the constant media circus that surrounded him. The bombshell from Conway, some believed, was merely the latest in a long line of public humiliations that Trump had subjected his wife to, albeit unintentionally. Melania's quiet demeanor, according to a former aide, wasn't a sign of loyalty or affection, but resignation. As Trump's political future grew more uncertain, it seemed that Melania's own path was far from clear, though she refused to publicly address her feelings on the matter. In the wake of Conway's comments, Trump became increasingly vocal in his public denials and attacks on the Conway family. While Melania kept a low profile, Trump used every opportunity to rally his base and turn the controversy into a broader political issue. "The fake news is out to get me, and now they're using George Conway, who nobody cares about, to try to bring me down," Trump said in a speech at a rally in Florida. "But the truth is, I have the best family, the best wife. Melania and I are a team, and this is just another attempt by losers to tear us apart. It won't work." The rally crowd erupted in cheers as Trump supporters applauded his defiant stance. For many in the room, Trump's response was exactly what they expected: a fiery refusal to acknowledge any flaw or imperfection in his personal life. To his followers, this made him all the more relatable, a man who, despite his flaws, could withstand any attack, no matter how personal. Meanwhile, Trump's legal team, always quick to respond to threats, issued a cease and desist letter to George Conway, demanding that he retract his statements and issue a public apology. Conway, of course, remained unmoved. "I have no interest in bowing to pressure from someone like Donald Trump," he said in an interview. "I'll continue to speak the truth about what I know, regardless of his attempts to silence me." As the battle continued to unfold in the media, public opinion became increasingly polarized. For Trump supporters, Conway's remarks only solidified their distrust of anyone who dared to challenge the former president. They viewed the criticism as part of a broader attempt to destroy Trump's legacy, both politically and personally. To them, Trump's combative response was exactly what they loved about him: his unwillingness to back down, even when the stakes were personal. On the other hand, critics of Trump saw Conway's comments as a rare glimpse into the dysfunction and disarray that had plagued the Trump family throughout his presidency. For many, it was further evidence that Trump's public persona as a family man was just another carefully crafted facade designed to protect his political interests. Conway's revelations, combined with Trump's increasingly erratic behavior and response, seemed to underscore what many believed. The man at the center of it all was a deeply troubled individual whose personal life mirrored the chaos of his time in office.